What's going on, everyone? It's Mr. Parlove, the Realtor, back at it again with another episode from idea to reality. Today's guest is another good friend of mine, Mr. Brandon Riley, founder and owner of 1028 Designs LLC. First off, I'd like to thank you for your time out today and being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I gotta take care of my people. Look out when I can. So
Yeah, definitely appreciate the support. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. How did you come up with the idea and the concept for 1028 Designs?
Um, so I want to make a correction, not stepping on your toes or anything, but I am only one part of 1028
Okay,
Designs.
so you like
So,
CEO,
something like
co-owner.
that. I'm more like chief operating. I do all of
Okay,
the
so you more the,
designing and manufacturing, and my wife goes out and gets the clients and stuff like that. So I am part owner of 1028 Designs
okay,
LLC. Um, it is a minority-owned business. My wife is a Latina, so it is a woman-owned business and minority-owned business at that.
yeah, that's
So,
pretty cool. I'm
so
glad you made that
yeah,
correction because
yeah.
I was
I don't
thinking,
want to
I
take
was
all the
thinking
credit.
about that.
I can't. Excuse me. I can't take all the credit for everything. And it
Yeah,
really was a collective when we came up with the name and
right.
everything. So
Okay,
we
so
went.
y'all
We kind of
just
went back and forth on it, and
kind of pitched ideas off each other.
yeah, it was just a good. It was a good fit at the time. A
Right.
good name. So
All right.
it has some sentimental value to the name and everything. So
Yeah. Well,
that's
that's
for another day.
yeah. Another time we don't want to
Yeah,
go
I
into a
go
whole
into it.
story with
Yeah,
that. We probably run out of
right,
time or
right, right,
something. Well, that's definitely that's cool, and I'm like I said, I'm glad you made that correction because I was thinking of that
yeah,
too, but it kind of slipped my mind. So
yeah.
definitely
Most people, see me most of the time because I'll be the mover and delivering and stuff like that. They don't really see her because she has to
yeah,
still,
behind the
she
scenes.
still works and everything. So I had to make sure I take care of everything when I can. So
Hmm.
they don't ever really see her. So
Right. Well, that's cool. And then you kind of elaborated a bit on choosing the name for the company. You
hmm
bounced ideas off, and then kind of more like a sentimental thing as well.
yeah. And we kind of was going through it during when COVID hit and some things transpired at that time, and so we were just like, okay, uh, let's use these numbers and go with it, and
Right.
you know, because we went through a bunch of names and stuff. It was just like that fit at the time, so you know,
Just just made that fit
we
in.
just had to.
Yeah, so that's definitely a good way to come up with something more original too.
hmm hmm
So obviously I know what it is that you do, but can
Right,
you
right.
elaborate for the people that don't really know?
So,
Matter of fact, we got some samples too while
so
you
what I'm wearing right here is a jogging outfit. This is a Lane 7 brand. It's like a vintage wash, distressed kind of look, but we take garments like this and imprint them with vinyl, press them with heat transfer vinyl.
right.
It's cut out on the machine. It's cut out. Have to take the excess vinyl off and then heat press it. Um, and we have different designs, different logos. We could take a personal logo or a business logo and transfer it onto many different things,
Hmm.
t-shirts, joggers, hoodies, crew necks, canvas bags, backpacks, you
Right.
name it. I mean, to a certain extent, I can't do everything at this point. I can't do like sublimation or DTF, which is direct to film type of vinyl where you can print in full color.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother lane. That's a whole nother group of products and machinery and stuff like that. But
Right.
anything like a t-shirt, a hoodie, or anything, we can cut out vinyl and heat press it.
Yeah. So what about like plastic cups? Like not like
Yeah,
recyclable cups,
yeah,
but the hard plastic cups.
we could do glass, plastic. We can do glass, plastic. Pretty much, if there's certain cups where people make the tumblers, you ever seen it, but they use like a lacquer or something they put a coating on it and turn it and dry it. So we don't do that. What we can do is we get what is called permanent vinyl, and we can basically do the same thing, but we cut it. And we don't cut it in a mirror to where we press it on here and it's the image is projected. You just cut it out, and it'll just be a an image that you can put on a cup or something like that. And we can do it. We just it's something we haven't really tapped into because we've been kind of focused
more
on the shirts and stuff like that.
Right.
So I have done a couple at home, like beer mugs and stuff with beer time or some other Alexa, get me a beer type of thing. I've messed around with it with some with some with some beer mugs and stuff of that nature, but I can do it. I just don't get a lot of requests for it.
Right.
So,
well, that's cool. Got a couple different things going on. We'll get into these a little bit later. I'll show the people, some designs and some things that Brandon came up with, and like he said, he could do some customized things for you as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we'll do stuff to a certain extent because we're more of a spiritual, faith-based, more motivational based imagery and stuff like that. We don't try to get into obscenities where people want a shirt that say "F you," or, we don't like to. We'll do it to a certain extent, but if it's something that
create more positivity.
If it's something that we're not comfortable doing or don't want to represent, we won't do it.
Yeah, then you got to kind of stand behind your brand.
You got to stand behind. Oh, they made it. I didn't know they didn't portray that they were into that, or you know how politics go, and they see you make something that don't quite go with what you stand for.
Message, and they'll be like, "What's going on?" Or try to be like, push a negative narrative about
you. We got to keep an eye out for it, and we'll say that's why we say we'll do just about anything,
right?
But
to a certain extent,
yeah.
But, that's definitely understandable. So I believe you started, like you mentioned earlier, around COVID time, but it's been about a couple years since you first got started?
I want to say it's been almost 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. Okay. I want to say. Yeah, I can't really put a date on it. I mean, because it wasn't so fast. But when you get into, getting the LLC and getting your EIN and you get into it, you don't think about days, and then you get going on doing the stuff. You just start moving forward and moving into making products. But I would say it's been two almost 3 years, maybe somewhere around there.
All right. And how was it when you first started?
It was rough. It was kind of a learning curve because it was something I had never done myself. So a lot of it I'm self-taught and watching YouTube videos. Like everybody says, go on YouTube. So I started looking at YouTube videos and just learning and actually learning from messing up on a lot of stuff and going through a lot of product, like, making mistakes. And then, from there, I just got better and better. And now I would say I'm pretty good at it. Still more, still a learning curve on some things, but for the most part, I have it down pat now.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And like, something you start like that, it's always a learning procedure.
Yeah, just like everybody else, they probably started out on a Cricut, and now I have like a 28-inch cutter now. So, we outgrew the little Cricut pretty fast because we got a lot of bulk orders from people my wife do work with, and we're working around a lot of shirts for like programs like the kids programs and stuff like STEM Greenhouse, positive impact for life. So we outgrew the Cricut because I needed to do repetitive stuff and repetitive cuts, so I needed something that would just continuously cut. So
and then eventually the orders kind of start getting a little bigger. So how long did it take you to get familiar and learn the equipment that you worked with? Was it like a few days or weeks, or you just kind of got better each time?
I would say I just think it was I can't put a time on it, but it was just like each time I would uh, cut. Each time I would do something new, a new image or something, I would learn from it. Uh, a big problem with the first time was cutting circles
Oh yeah.
because there's so much on the end that it moves over the image will when it cuts it moves in so quarter of an inch and it goes so far this way. So learning that you have to design it a certain way so it's gonna stay in that area
Right.
and cut that area and not go outside that boundary. That was the hard part, and I went through a lot of vinyl learning that, and
Yeah.
but it just take time, and you know, some of that stuff is it's like you got to go through the mistakes
To
to
get.
grasp it to get to
Yeah.
do it the correct way. But
Right. So you kind of beat me.
it's kind of I would say maybe it took me a few months to get it. I mean, right off the bat, you get it. You get how what the mechanics is. You're taking an image, you're mirroring it, and then you're cutting it.
Right.
And that's cool. Certain images are already preloaded, pre-sized, but when you get to making, stuff like this, where you purchase the image and you can make it bigger, smaller, flip it, turn, then you get to learning how to do different things
Right.
and, you know, learning how to slow the cutter down to where if it's making precise small cuts, you can't cut at the same speed you would cut a larger image with less, you know, with less small imaging, with smaller details on a larger detail. It's not so you can cut it faster and it's
Versus
just
the smaller.
versus the smaller where you got to slow it down to make sure it makes those precise cuts and
So then, like bigger images, it kind of you can speed it
you
up
can speed it up
just
and
because of the
cut it.
area you're
Yeah,
playing with.
yeah, and that was another thing I had to learn was the speed and the force, the grams force on how heavy you have to cut it. How much force you have to put into cutting a certain vinyl
Right.
because you can't cut all vinyl isn't
It's not
cut
the
at the
same.
same force, gram force.
That makes
So you have to
sense.
learn that, and then again, I went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A
Kind
lot
of
of vinyl.
trial and error,
Trial and error. So
YouTube and probably Google too, huh?
yeah, I mean, there's some stuff out there, but
A
everything
lot
isn't
of
out
stuff.
there. So
Yeah.
a lot of it I did just go through like trial and error.
Right. And that's kind of funny because you beat me to my next question on how
hmm
you overcame some of those obstacles, but kind
Yeah,
of briefly
yeah,
explained those already. So
yeah. But it's just it's being persistent and staying with it
yeah.
and kind of just sticking with it, not being discouraged because you messed up. I mean, when
Hmm.
you mess up on something, you get so like, dang, I messed it up
Yeah,
again. Like, what
duh.
am I doing wrong? You
Right.
have to sit and calm yourself and all right, think about okay, you did this, what you do wrong, and then once you slow down and think about it, oh, okay, that's what
Hmm.
I did,
Right.
and then you can move on and fix your mistakes. So
Yeah, that's kind of like goes into life. Anything
yeah,
you
that's with
do,
anything in life, bro.
you gotta like not get discouraged because you're not gonna be perfect the first time you do something, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just mostly repetitive, and you like, okay, I'm getting this, and then
Mm-hmm.
next time I'm getting that, and it also kind of makes you proud at the same time, like, man, I did this, I did that, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can look back and you're like, I came so far,
Right.
why would I quit now?
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to quit because I've been there several times. I'm like, dang, I'm messing up, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I can't get it right. What am I doing wrong?
I can't get my big break, or I'm not getting my
Yeah,
big
and it's like
breakthrough, and
easier to feed into that negativity, but you
mm-hmm.
gotta like you said, just take that step back, even if you gotta, give yourself a day or two to,
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Step
get it
away, and
right, and get that focus back and get
mm-hmm.
that determination, because like you said, it's easy to quit, but you want something, you're gonna keep working for it, and
Yeah.
then once you succeed and keep going further
Mhm.
along, you're like, man, I got this.
I got it. I
And
know, you know.
it's like all of a sudden you're doing it in your sleep.
Yeah. And two, you know, we have our slow times, you know. Sometimes we get slow or we don't have any orders, and sometimes we get it to where we're got back to back orders, you know.
Yeah,
So it's hard too when we, you know, we don't we're not working from a brick and mortar. We don't have a place right now, so
yeah,
it's kind of hard where you can't display it, but maybe on social medias and different platforms of that nature or word of mouth,
yeah,
and you don't see that instant, you know, feedback or orders. Kind of,
yeah.
you know, it's
That kind
discouraging,
of,
but we just keep going because eventually one day it'll take off to where we can get that storefront and
yeah,
get some place to actually do the product and you know not doing it at in a home office and stuff like that.
right.
So
But you know, like the best way, even though like it's more of a digital world
hmm
now, the best thing, and this goes back to like back in the days before internet,
oh
before all
yeah,
that,
you had to
word
get
of
out.
mouth
hmm
spreads quicker sometimes than, able to put stuff out there on social media. But
Yeah, and I'm not that type. I'm not really that type to go out and park somewhere and try to sell, you know, and try to sell the product and stuff. I mean, I could, you know, but there's risk with that and getting, you know,
yeah,
getting trespassed or so I
yeah,
don't really want to. I could do it, you know, but I don't really want to go down that lane
yeah,
and
kind of risk some
yeah,
things. You
risks,
might,
you know,
get a ticket or
yeah, get a
something. You
ticket
know how
or
they are
get
these
robbed or
days.
something.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah. So definitely, that's some good things there. So what made you decide, or made you and your wife decide to start the company?
well, it was more of an avenue for extra income
Right.
for the most part, but really just wanted something to call our own, you know, something to
Yeah.
say this is ours and nobody can tell us what to do with it.
Right.
Um, nobody can, and we can work and do it when we want to, or as much as we want to, or at least, you know, as least as we want to.
Yeah.
Um, you know, eventually get to the spot where my wife doesn't have to, you know, go and clock in to a 9 to 5 and have to, you know, work for somebody. Eventually, we want to get to the point where she can possibly retire and we do that, you know,
Hmm.
full time and make our own money, you know.
Right.
So that's a big thing is working for, you know,
Yeah.
working for people because it's not saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you get to a point where you get tired of answering to people or being that
Yeah.
employee and you know being told what to do and
Right.
you know you get to that point in life it's like man
Yeah. I definitely
you
can
want to be
relate
your
to
own
you
boss
on
because
that.
it's like I'm you know 40 something years old and man, I'm getting you know you want to work for yourself and do stuff
Yeah.
yourself and
And then also, you realize more like your self worth. Like a lot of
hmm they
places,
don't they
they
don't
don't want to pay you as
right
much, or you get to a certain spot and
and
they
it's
don't want to give you your raises,
you
and
feel like you're
it's just a
stagnant or you
yeah,
stuck at this level and you're not progressing and it's like what do you have to do to show your worth to some employers
yeah,
and it's like I had an opportunity to go back into the workforce you know and kind of get you know stop getting disability but you know I talked to this company or this person you know and was like why are you going to pay me this much
hmm,
and we don't have anything to talk about because you know what I can do and you know my worth I'm not going to come in and get paid like a new employee.
right.
I just I'm worth more than that, and you know it. So.
And some of those places also, I've noticed in the past, and this for me
Hmm.
speaking on personal experience
Mm-hmm.
as well, like some of the newer people that were coming in
I'm getting
were
paid.
getting paid
Mm,
more than what I was, and
I've
I'm
seen that.
doing a whole bunch of things, and I'm like, and then I'm getting taken away from my position to
Mm-hmm.
go help with other positions,
And not getting
because
compensated.
yeah, because like somebody might call in or somebody quit or
Mm-hmm.
something, and I'm like, hey, I'm running around doing all this, and it's like I shouldn't have to beg for you know, a raise or what I know I'm supposed to get versus a newer person coming in and making more than what I'm making.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that doesn't really make
It
sense,
don't.
And it's like it's jobs out there and some good ones, but at the same time, they don't want to pay the employees, and big corporations and companies have the money to do so, but
They rather not.
yeah, and I never understood that, but
Yeah, it's too. I see that too often. Like
right,
just for instance, if you go by a McDonald's when they have those big hiring signs, you'll see the big $16, but in a small print it says up to.
yeah,
You
or
know,
maybe based on
yeah,
experience or
yeah, and
something.
but the based on experience be
Yeah,
this small in the corner.
if somebody like me, if I don't got my glasses on,
You
I
ain't gonna
can't
see
see
it.
that.
Yeah, you go in there and say, "Hey, I want this job," and they say, "Oh, we can pay $12." The sign says 16, but
Yeah,
it says up to.
yeah, or
Come
they be
on,
like, "Do you have any
experience.
management
Yeah,
experience or something like that?" And it's,
and they don't pay managers enough to be putting up with some of that. And it's like,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
when is enough in these companies, this society realize, man, it's just it's a
yeah.
mess. I mean, everywhere.
You got that right. So let's
Yeah.
fast forward to the next thing.
Hmm.
I know some people are under the conception that it's hard to obtain an LLC when it's not really that hard. I know you mentioned earlier about going through the steps, but
Hmm.
somewhat easy to.
It's not as difficult as it may seem. Some people get what do you call those, accountants, or they go somewhere to a firm and have them do everything, but you have to pay them outrageous amounts of money.
Right.
I have when I was researching and looking up, I actually found this website. What was it called? They switched the names of it. I can't think of the name right now, but because they switched name, but
Hmm.
it just helps you go through the process and you choose what you want them to do and what level you want them to, how far you want them to go for you and what steps you want them to complete for you.
Okay.
And in the end, I think I only paid $100. I
Right.
want to say $100, maybe 125, something like that. It
Yeah. It
wasn't like
wasn't as
it wasn't like $500-600 like
yeah.
most
Some
places.
people.
I've heard some
Yeah.
people say they paid 1,000,
Oh man.
but that's because they
That's
pay
because
a
they.
firm or something to
Oh, I see.
or some type of place, a person to
To
actually do
do
it
stuff
for
for them versus going
them. And you
to.
just filing you getting printing the papers and filing them yourself.
Yeah.
So you pay to them to form it, but you also have to send in, um, this paper, which you have to pay like $25 for. So yeah, like in total, I think I paid 125 or something like that. It wasn't that expensive, but you have to do some of the work. They get you so far, and then you have to continue.
Yeah.
But and like every year, you have to pay the $25 to
To renew.
basically to use that, continue using the LLC and the name.
Yeah.
So basically,
That,
paying to use your name, continue to use your business name.
yeah, but that's not bad though either
Mm-mm.
because if you don't keep it up,
Mm-hmm. You get
you
fined
lose,
and
and
all, you
then
lose it.
you could possibly you lose the name of the business too,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
then somebody,
Then your
they might not
LLC.
steal it, but they
Mm-mm.
might, a lot of people sometimes will think that this is available
Mm-hmm.
for their name or
Mm-hmm.
their business, and somebody else might already have that.
Mm-hmm.
But when don't keep up with renewal, you could end up
Yeah.
taking that name and
Mm-hmm.
then say like yourself, you come back like next year to try to get
You
your
just go and it's
business back
gone.
if somebody else
Mm-hmm.
has it. So it's definitely important to keep
Yeah.
up on that
And
paperwork.
there's a when I was taking business classes at CC, there are sites on the on Laura on the Michigan website and stuff. Here for Michigan, I don't know how it is for other states, but
Right.
there's a website you go on and you can search. Say you want to pick a certain name, you go and search the name and see if it's being used
Hmm.
and what variation is being used, and so you don't use some other name and then get fined for using.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I had to do that too. So
Yeah, and
but
that's kind of ironic you brought up the Laura thing
mhm.
because I'm a know about that just myself being a realtor.
Yeah, a
So
lot of people don't know about Laura. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm throwing Laura
yeah,
out there, and many people might not know
yeah,
about it, but
yeah. But it's always Google for the
yeah.
ones that don't know. But we're in a age and the technology and right
Yeah.
at your fingertips. It's not like you gotta go to the
Oh
library
yeah,
and
yeah.
get the encyclopedia or
Mm-hmm.
all those books from back in the
Articles.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like right at your fingertips. You can
Mm-hmm.
even probably ask if you got Alexa, you can ask, hey, what's
How do
this
you?
and what's
Yeah.
that?
Or how do you
that,
form an
that
LLC on your own?
yeah, that's kind of funny because it popped up. The we were speaking about Alexa, it
Mm-hmm.
popped up
Uh,
earlier.
yeah,
So that was
and
kind
then getting the EIN, you have to get an EIN first before you file your LLC, which I didn't know, but
of. Hmm.
you have to get which don't let them tell you you have to pay for EIN because you don't. They're
Right.
free.
Yep.
They are free.
There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
misinformation regarding that.
Because I went through Laura too and was doing it, and I kept getting where I had to pay. I said no, and finally I clicked the right one where I went through and it was free. So don't tell me how I got there. I just have to. I kept going and going. It took me like 2 hours one
Yeah.
day, and then I finally stumbled upon it. But
Right. But as far as like you said, it took you a couple hours. Like
hmm
finding information, especially useful information to better yourself or to form
like
a business,
hmm
is going to take you a little bit of time anyway.
yeah, because I didn't have somebody I could go to and be like, how to walk me through it. I kind of was
Right.
doing it on my own.
Right.
Now, if somebody was coming to me and wanted help, I would sit down and I actually helped one young man from our church.
Mm.
Uh, I didn't help him all the way. I just
But
kind
you
of
kind of pointed him in the
pointed
right
him in the right
direction.
direction,
Yeah.
and I just didn't have the time, or we didn't have the time to sit and actually connect.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I wish I could have sat down with him and did it with him, but I told
Mm-hmm.
him what site, the site to go to, and then I think he said he already had his EIN, so he just needed to get the LLC. So I told him.
Right.
So.
So that's cool. It's always good to, help
hmm
pass along not all your knowledge, but at
Yeah,
least point somebody in the right direction.
yeah.
And
I'm not the one to gatekeep, as they say. If I
yeah,
know something that'll
I'm
help
gonna
somebody
pass it
else out,
along.
I like to do that because I'll be in the same position if I needed help. I would want somebody to say, oh yeah, you know, go this route, or check this out.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's cool to always help
hmm
somebody along. So let's see the next question. I know you mentioned earlier about some large orders, and I know you've done some of those as well. Like, what's the biggest order you've had so far?
I think 100. I've had 100 like the little they call them shoestring or little drawstring backpacks
Right.
and 100 t-shirts.
Okay. And it was like the same order, or was it two, like for
It
one?
was for the same. It was for the same company, the same business,
Okay.
but it was different.
Different.
hmm
Okay.
I think it was 50 backpacks and 50 shirts, if I want to say,
All
if I
right.
remember correctly.
And what was your turnaround time? It took you about like about a week or so?
I mean, if I get locked in and focused, yeah, I could probably turn it out in about a week.
Okay.
I mean, if I sat there for a good 3 days, I could probably do it. But life, you can't. You don't have that
Yeah.
luxury. You got
Right.
to do other things. So
Life definitely be life.
I could, one day spend 3 or 4 hours cutting, and then the next day another few hours of cutting, and then the next few couple days of they call it weeding, where you have to take out the excess vinyl from around the image to make
Okay.
the image show, and then take one day to actually press.
Okay.
So.
So out of that you mentioned, like the cutting, the
hmm
weeding, I know the pressing is probably the easiest, huh?
Yeah. Yes. On certain things that like a regular size T-shirts and garments, yeah. But when it comes to these like 2X and 3X,
Mm.
I don't have a larger press at the moment,
Okay.
so I have a 15 by 15, so a lot of the images on bigger things are, that
Look,
size are a little bigger.
right.
So I kind of have to heat one side of it and pull it to the side and heat the other side and do it that way. But
Okay.
it is in the works to get a 16 by 20. That
Oh
way I can do
yeah.
larger garments, larger
Right.
items.
Hmm.
But it take time. That stuff is not cheap.
Yeah, but at least the good thing, you've been keeping things going forward, because
Mhm.
next, like in a year from now,
Mhm.
you'll be in a totally different spot
Spot than I was.
than you was previously.
Yeah.
And then also people don't understand either, like, you might as well do something that you're passionate about and just keep going.
Mhm.
Because if you just sit around and just sit around, next thing you know, the whole year's gone and you're
You
still in the same place.
And I was doing some work at a repair shop, mechanic shop, and I was going just because the extra money,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, "God, I don't want to do this. I'm just going just because we needed that dollar, and it's like,
Like kind of
it,
running you crazy
yeah, and it's
almost.
like I don't want, and I'm coming home every day mad or pissed off, or and
Yeah.
it's like I gotta quit doing this because
Right.
this ain't healthy, and it's not doing any good. So I start to put more focus into the business and kind of grow
Yeah.
that. Even if I just go in there and just get on the computer and just design some stuff or look up some stuff or research stuff or learn, or take a, look at a video and learn how to do different things. Even if I'm just doing that,
Mm-hmm.
it's still, you know, going towards our
Times to,
business
yeah,
and
exactly.
growing rather than being somewhere where it's not doing anything for me. It's doing something for somebody else,
Yeah, but
but it
at the
ain't
end,
benefiting me.
right, except a headache and,
Headache
and, and
and
being
being
mad
mad
and
and hating what you're doing.
yeah, that's like the worst thing when you kind of get to that spot where you hate what you're doing.
That's the worst
That's when
feeling,
you,
man.
man, because I've been there a few times and it's like,
Then you bring all kind of you come home and be in a mood and
yeah, and it's like it like rubs off, or you kind of
mm-hmm,
don't intentionally do it, but you might, you know what I'm saying, take it out on
mm-hmm,
you, like your friend
or
or
your
your
wife or whatever.
wife,
Yeah,
or maybe if you have kids, or
yeah.
boyfriend, girlfriend, your whole,
Your whole vibe be off.
yeah,
And it
yeah, it's
just
almost like a dark cloud over
yeah,
you,
and
and
you just
it's
don't
hard to shake
you don't
that.
want to talk to nobody. You pissed off for no reason, and
Hmm.
you gotta change. Eventually you gonna realize, oh man, this ain't it. I gotta
Yeah.
change. Gotta change what I'm doing. It ain't working.
Yeah, and then once you do find something that you're passionate about or
You feel
brings you
better.
that
You feel
happiness,
good.
it's like, okay, I got more pep in my step. The
Hmm.
dark cloud is gone.
Yeah.
I'm smiling more and I feel more healthier. I'm not having these stress headaches
Right. I
or
ain't stressed
none
out
of
about
that.
nothing.
And, like you said, getting up in age, not old,
But
but
we us
still
we
getting in
we getting
age,
there.
you know, health issues, that's a
Hmm.
lot of things that bring health issues, is stress in the
Stress.
work field, and
Hmm.
stress.
Stress
Too much
related.
stress, it gets you to bad health, and it even could eventually kill you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good to be stress free and all that. And as you mentioned earlier, I know you did some things for some church organizations,
Hmm.
nonprofits, local schools, and then people that come to you, like I come to you, have something made for me.
Yeah, I've done stuff for
Um,
like I've done stuff for my kids, my stepkids and grandkids and stuff for birthdays and you know
right.
different events and stuff like that. And, you know.
Is there any like other places around that you done things for? It's just been mostly like organizations so far and
Um,
churches and things like that.
I've done some for a couple small businesses,
Hmm.
uh, a couple small construction businesses, and
Oh, okay.
um, I've we've done the after school programs, mental wellness
Yeah.
events, um, Oh, I've done stuff for Juneteenth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just in different. We just did a event for the Latina Network. I forgot the name of it, but
Yeah, I think I might have saw that recently on
yeah,
I think it was like Facebook. I think your wife
yeah,
had shared some
yeah.
stuff
We
because
were
she
part of
always
that.
put that stuff out there, and it's
Hmm.
cool to
She was part of
see
that.
that involvement in the community and
Yeah, so
things
we
like
we
that.
we did us some shirts to sell just for that event too. Some Valentine's Day stuff. So
Oh yeah,
we do different. We're gonna try to do different pop up shops and stuff like that. To get us more
more
exposed.
track. Yeah,
You
that's
know.
always a good idea because I know another good friend of mine. He would do the pop ups, and he kind of got the idea from oh, it was like Waka Flocka was doing like some
Mhm.
pop up things, so
Mhm.
he decided to incorporate that into his business and doing the pop ups and things like that. And
Yeah,
I've
I
heard that
was.
definitely will get you some, more exposure
Yeah,
and
we're working on. We want to get a like a mobile hotspot,
oh
so I can be able
yeah,
to use the use Wi-Fi or whatever,
hmm
so that I can bring the cutter and the computer and the press and
to the
stuff,
pop
and
up,
do some there, and show what it is that I do.
right?
That way, if I have something there and I don't have the size or done up, or I could cut the size and do it right there, and while the people are walking around, I could be doing it, and they can come back and just switching it up rather than bringing a whole bunch of stuff there and it don't
Yeah,
sell or it don't have the right sizes.
right.
Just bring blanks and vinyl and
Just get it done right on the spot.
yeah. There's another avenue we haven't tried is um ordering pre-done, from a company, like send this image in
Hmm.
and have it printed 100 sheets of it.
Oh,
But to me, it takes away from the personal touch to doing
design.
it.
Yeah,
Um, and some of the feel and touch of the stuff, the material they use, I don't like. And
right.
if I'm gonna do it, it's almost the same price as me buying a vinyl myself and doing it.
Right. So you might as
When
well
I
kind
want
of
it, yeah, you would have to almost buy like 500 sheets in order for it to make a difference in cost wise. But
right.
I mean, it's a we thought about that a few times. If we have several images that are repeat, to just
Hmm.
have them ready to go. But I could almost cut them out myself and have them done.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna have to start doing is just taking the vinyl, having them cut ready to go, and just using the vinyl that I have, and
Mm.
somehow because they're sticky on the back of them, so I have to figure out how to put a sheet of something on the back so they
So
don't,
it don't stick
yeah,
together.
so it don't mess up the image.
Right. I wonder if they have like some special type of
They do. They have
paper or
this.
something for that.
It's like a transfer paper, like a
Kind of
sticky
similar
paper.
to like almost like transfer papers when you get the tattoos done.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you just put it over the back of it. But
Right.
there's different things I
Yeah.
haven't tapped into yet that I would like to, but it just take time
Yeah. It eventually come through.
and
And you kind of beat me again to my next question.
hmm
We briefly spoke about, you do logos. You
hmm
also can do like character prints like Pokemon or.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those. Actually, I did one.
Hmm.
I know I did a couple. I think up to three now. I did a couple Lego. I did a Lego Batman for my grandson. I did a Joker one for my granddaughter, and I did a like a new wave Pokemon image. But those get kind of tricky. Um,
Especially like with cutting and things
well, because
or.
you cutting each color you're cutting separate. But you
Oh,
can do it. It takes a little
takes
more
more
time.
time.
Yeah,
I see.
I can do it. It's just
Just kind of more time
yeah,
consuming.
it's tricky. But I've done them. They come out good. But
Yeah.
it's just those will take 3 or 4 hours rather than just
And
an
maybe like
hour
an
or
hour.
something.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it could be done.
I see.
I'll do them. I just have to charge a little more because I'm using, you know, 2 or 3 sheets of vinyl, not necessarily the whole sheet, but once I cut the sheet, then I I can use the rest of it, but I can't use it on um, a full image or anything. So I have to charge the customer for that sheet of
For
vinyl.
that, okay,
You
that
know,
that makes sense. Let's see. And then, like, as far as the process, I know you kind of might explain this a little bit earlier.
hmm
Is from like you have the design, then you print it, and then you go.
no,
How does the process
so
work?
a lot of my images I get from Etsy, and they're digital images, so they have to be like a PNG or a SVG or JPEG.
Okay.
And then the program I use, once I upload it into the cutting software, I have to vectorize it.
Mm.
So once I vectorize, I have to clean up the lines.
Mm.
I have to make sure I pull the whole image out. And then once I vectorize it, then I can use it.
Okay.
So a lot of the images I get from Etsy and stuff, I don't usually have issues with, but some images I might get from um, like companies, or somebody sends me an image. It's not an original image, so
Oh,
it's
so it's
sometimes
more.
it's harder to vectorize because it's not a clean image. I'm already getting a third or fourth image, so sometimes it can be harder doing that, but I make it work.
And so the vectoring kind of just clears it
It
up
makes it
more.
so
And
when the cutter goes to cut it, it's not, you're not getting squiggly lines.
oh
How some
yeah,
images are pixely and the lines
yeah,
look kind of squared or jagged. It goes in
yeah.
and clears it up, so I'll have clear, straight cuts.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's what vectorizing is, cleaning lines up and everything.
Right. So, for the people who are thinking about starting a business or in the process of one, what advice or words of encouragement would you give?
Let's see. Words of encouragement. Don't get discouraged when you run into roadblocks or any obstacles you might have to go over. Just stick with it. Take your time. Make sure it's something you want to do, so you're not putting your time into something. A few months later, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't like doing this.
Yeah, like forget this, you
No,
know.
forget this. I don't want to do this." Make sure you take the time and think it through, like it's something you want to do and gonna love to do, and stick with it and uh, keep at it. You know, no matter what. You're gonna get people that don't like what you do or don't want to pay for whatever services you offer, or the next person will. So
Right.
I could say don't get discouraged when you get turned down.
Hmm.
It's gonna happen. So
Yeah, it definitely is. That's some good words of encouragement and advice. Next question: if you were able to go back in time and give your younger self some advice or tell yourself anything, what would that be?
uh, I would have to say don't go to a 4-year university. Um, from the start, I wanted, after high school, I wanted to go into like a trade or something like that, or go to trade school or something. And I wasn't really feeling going to a 4-year university or college. So I kind of listened to, family members and other people, and went that route, and still didn't, I never finished. I still don't have a degree or nothing. So
Hmm.
accrued all this debt, and time is wasted, and which I didn't even come, in the end, I didn't
Yeah,
come up with anything.
right. And then
And then I should have just scrapped it and just did what I wanted to do. And you know, I would probably have to figure it out on my own,
right,
but at least I would have been happy,
yeah.
you know.
But at least though, it's never too late
No,
to
it's not. No, no.
get to a point in life where you want to start something and venture out on your own, or
Yeah.
go pick up some carpentry skills or get a license to become like a plumber,
Oh yeah.
or again like a real estate agent, or
Yeah.
what else they got?
It's a bunch of
Appraisers,
it's a
like all
bunch of
types
stuff.
of
Yeah.
things and
If you want to do it,
certificates
just
to.
go out and do it. I mean, because I know CC offers a lot of cert programs and stuff like that,
Yeah, they do. I think
or it's only like a year long, or so many months long to get a certificate. And they have I know they have job training and stuff, and
yeah, I
they
wonder
offer a bunch of
if
stuff.
they still got that at the what was it? KCTC. Don't they have programs too? Or
I didn't see that. That's I wanted to go to when we was in high school, but the
right.
counselors at our high school was telling me, no, you're too smart to go to skill center.
Yeah, it's like they kind of
It's like,
push you
what you
away
mean?
to
I was
do
like, this is
something
what
that
I
you
want
want
to
to
do.
do. It's
Like, I want to go learn a trade or something.
right. It's like the key word is guidance.
Yeah, not shooing me away and telling me, no,
Yeah,
you're too smart to do that.
right.
Well, I know I'm smart, but
But I want to do,
this is what I want to do.
right.
But
It shouldn't discourage anybody from, doing something that they want to do, especially
yeah.
if they're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as we mentioned earlier, about social media, not too big up on, mostly being word of mouth. How or where else can the people get in touch with you for inquiries or order placing?
We do have we have a Facebook page at 1028 Designs LLC on Facebook. Um, you can give me or my wife a call. My phone number is 616-288-8482. Or you can call my wife if you're a female and don't feel comfortable speaking to a man. You can speak with her. Her number is 616-272-2746. You can shoot us a text or give us a call, and we can go from there. If you have ideas of what you want, or if you see something that you think we might be able to do for you, let us know, and we can go from there.
What about you take orders or inquiries over email?
Yeah, email. My email is it's Brandon Columbus 1028 at outlook.com. It's
right.
Brandon Columbus, COLUMBUS 1028 at outlook.com.
All right. And then I always put links into the videos to where they could go to the Facebook and follow that, and get more information off the social media page.
Yeah, you can reach message us through Facebook as well. We have a separate messenger for our business and from personal. So
all right. And do y'all eventually? I know you already had a social media page on Facebook. Do y'all eventually think about maybe in the future coming up with a website?
Yeah, that's something we had talked about in the past. It's just that we got to kind of
step at a
take
time.
it. We got to kind of build it, and I could probably do the website ourselves, but I'm not. There's ways out the programs you can go to and build your own website, but I don't want to build a website that looks all,
kind of janky.
You got a janky and it's not presentable and stuff. So
right.
In some case you have to pay a programmer or somebody to build, a website designer or whatnot. So
right.
Yeah, that's another step we're gonna eventually take. That way, people can go on there and order stuff and not have to talk to anybody or
Okay. Well, yeah, and we got some. I actually brought me something from myself, which I really appreciate. It's cool. Some of their work right here. It's Man of Faith. Kind of got the reflective. It's the back. And it's the front right here.
Yeah.
So it's definitely.
I mean, and those designs too, you can put them on the front or back, or have a small logo on the front like this, or
yeah, we got some more stuff.
So this one we did for the Latina event. I mean, and this can come in any color, any shade of, any t-shirt color, any vinyl color, you know.
We got some more right here with the.
These are just examples of different
glitter and
colors,
stuff.
and there's a bunch of different glitter colors you can use. I mean, color combos. This can be blue or red or green or whatever.
Any color shirt,
Any
long
color
sleeve,
shirt, long
short
sleeve, crew neck, hoodie. I mean, we do joggers,
And what if you could probably do like tank tops too as
tanks,
well, huh?
yeah, tank top. Summer's coming.
Yeah.
This is one I did up for Juneteenth. That's coming up. So if you want to get in touch with us for some Juneteenth merch, we got you covered.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it's just a basic purple tee, peace, love, and Jesus.
Yeah, spreading the positivity
Positivity,
around.
Yeah. Like I said, we don't like to do any, negative stuff. I mean, we'll do certain things to a certain extent that's tasteful, but anything where it's vulgar, using profanity and stuff like that, we don't like to do.
On that Old Spice commercial, anything less is uncivilized.
Yeah. So we just try to keep it positive and about spreading positivity.
Right.
So
yeah, before we wrap up, is there anything you felt we missed or didn't discuss?
No, we pretty much touched on just about everything. Where it all started, how it came about,
Yeah.
where we're at now. It's like I said, we have our busy times, like it's summer. I suspect we probably get a little busier,
Mm-hmm.
But we're always looking for, new stuff, new clients, new ideas, so I'm always working.
Right. Well, that's cool. Again, I definitely appreciate the time you took out to be here today. Thanks again.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and we have to do this again down the road sometime. If once you get big and get a studio and stuff,
right.
Come back and just we have to get more of the guys in on the session too.
Yeah, get you. And by then you probably gotta have a brick and mortar store.
Yeah,
so
you got to come back to the store once I get that going.
Just takes time.
Oh, and if you see this and you mention it, when you reach out to us, I'll do 15% off.
Yeah, that's
we'll
good.
do 15% off. If you reach out to us and mention that you saw me on the podcast, do 15% off your order.
And you gotta watch the whole thing. You can't just get to a certain part. No, but at least make it to this part though, so you could hear that they got something special for you, because you'll never know if you don't watch the whole thing. But I'm glad we didn't mention that in the first part, because a lot of people might been like, "Oh shoot, I ain't gonna watch the rest of it." But I thank you again, man.
All right, man.
And wish you and your wife nothing but blessings and success.
You as well. I hope you get a couple more houses under your belt.
Yeah, it's always good to have that.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Be back again soon with another episode from Idea to Reality.